Okay, so you wanted a closer look at that really packed week in crypto news, April 7th to the 13th this year.
Yeah, it was definitely a whirlwind. Lots happening.
For sure. Market spikes, regulatory stuff moving around, some pretty big financial swings too.
All right.
So the plan here is just to kind of pull out the most important bits from the sources you sent over covering that week, figure out what it means.
Sounds good. Yeah, it wasn't just random noise, I think. Some of these things could really signal, bigger shifts maybe. Let's unpack it.
All right. First big thing, then Trump's tariff pause. The 90-day one, though, notably not including China.
Ah, yes. And Bitcoin seemed to react almost instantly.
It really did. Jumped up to, what, $82,967? That's quite a bump.
Definitely. And it wasn't just Bitcoin, right? Altcoins like XRP get a lift.
Yeah, the sources mentioned XRP up like 12.6% year to date around then. Crypto stocks, too.
It just shows how sensitive these markets are to macro signals, doesn't it? Even if the tech connection isn't immediately, obvious.
That speculative element, you mean?
Exactly. Perceived good news, even if indirect, can trigger that buying pressure pretty fast.
Okay, and sticking with Trump for a moment, there was also that bill he signed, the one getting rid of some older DeFi tax rules from the Biden era.
That's right. DeFi being decentralized finance, for anyone maybe less familiar, basically finance on the blockchain.
Right, and taking away those rules.
Yeah.
The thinking is it could boost innovation.
That's the hope, yeah. Give developers maybe a bit more breathing room.
But does that create a potential problem? Like, if the tax rules are less clear, could that cause headaches later for tracking and compliance?
That's the other side of the coin, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a really good point. Less regulation might spur development short term, sure.
Hmm.
But yeah, ambiguity around taxes. That can create uncertainty for everyone involved, builders, users. It's that classic tension, innovation versus oversight.
Always a balancing act. Okay, then there was news about the DOJ Department of Justice apparently scaling back some crypto investigations.
Yes, that was reported.
And one source flagged a concern there. Does less scrutiny mean potentially more room for scams to operate unchecked?
It's a valid worry. Reduced oversight, unfortunately, can sometimes open doors for bad actors.
Right.
Especially in a space that evolves as fast as crypto, you need effective regulation to build trust and protect people. Fewer investigations might tip that balance towards more risk.
Feels like a tightrope. Okay, shifting gears a bit, XRP had a strong week, apparently. Some talk even about it challenging Ethereum for the #2 spot.
Yeah, XRP showed some real strength that week. That ambition to overtake Ethereum is, it's significant.
What do you think is driving that? Just general market mood or something specific to XRP?
Probably a mix. Could be ecosystem developments, maybe broader trends lifting it, but challenging Ethereum's position. That's a huge leap. Requires major shifts in adoption market cap. Definitely one to keep an eye on, though.
Then we also saw the launch of Trump's World Liberty Financial stablecoin.
Ah, yes. A new stablecoin entering the mix. Pegged to the dollar, presumably designed for stability.
Right. And this happened around the same time there was some noise about potential ETH losses, the Ethereum currency. Is that just coincidence or?
Hard to say for sure if there's a direct link. It could just be parallel developments, but it definitely highlights how dynamic the stablecoin space is. New players, especially high-profile ones, can shake things up.
Okay, and talk about shaking things up. MicroStrategy, wow. That $5.91 billion loss reported on their Bitcoin.
Yeah, that was a big number. Really underscores the volatility we always talk about.
Especially with leverage, right? Using borrowed money amplifies everything, the gains and the losses. A stark reminder.
Absolutely. It shows the high stakes, big bets in volatile assets like Bitcoin, huge potential reward, but also clearly massive risk, particularly with leverage.
Okay, zooming out globally for a sec. Pakistan looking into mining Bitcoin with surplus power? That sounds creative.
Quite an innovative approach, yeah. A country trying to leverage resources in the crypto sphere in a unique way.
Meanwhile, China hiked tariffs, which usually rattles markets, but Bitcoin seemed relatively unfazed.
It did seem quite resilient to that news, yes. Maybe suggesting it's starting to decouple a bit from traditional market reactions, or perhaps the market just kind of priced it in already. Hard to know for sure.
Interesting. And then there are the predictions. Charles Hoskinson from Cardano predicting Bitcoin at $250,000 by year end.
That got some attention. A very bullish call.
What's his reasoning? Increased adoption and stablecoin regulation, was it?
That's what was cited, yeah. More people using it, clearer rules for stablecoins, potentially boosting confidence. But, it's vital to remember predictions like that are Well, they're speculative. Many things could change.
Which circles back to what the sources seem to emphasize. These wild cards like trade wars, regulation,
Mm,
they're still huge factors.
exactly. Crypto's shown resilience, sure, but it's not totally immune to those big external forces.
So the advice remains, stay cautious, do your homework.
Precisely. This week really showed that mix, didn't it? Tech, economics, politics, all tangled together, shaping where crypto goes next. A well-informed, cautious approach is just smart.
So summing up, a week of pretty significant price action, shifts in regulation, big ambitions, and also some sobering risks.
Yeah, it's fascinating just seeing how all these different threads connect, all feeding into how the space keeps evolving.
Definitely. So thinking about that pace and those contrast the huge predictions versus the major losses, what single thing do you think might have the biggest impact on crypto for the rest of 2025?